Container. Select the container icon. Drag it to where you want it to be located, and then click Style. By clicking Background Color, fill the container body with a solid color. Choose from the options Black Scale, Secondary Color, Primary Color, Transparent, and Custom Color to assign a style to the selected item. By clicking Background Image, you can set the background image for each element. The image is displayed in the area that the content and fill of the element occupy, right up to its edge. The Upload a File property allows you to upload the images that are on your device. When you upload them, they are saved to the Firebase database, returning a destination address from where we can query the image at any time. Clicking on Choose a File opens the File Explorer, where we can make the choice of the image of our liking. When you click on My Images, the entire collection of images that we have uploaded up to the time of the query is displayed. You can search by image name in case the number of images is too large, so you can reuse the images you have handled before. Clicking Unsplash takes you to a section of preloaded images from the Unsplash page. You can use them freely for your applications as they are copyright-free. By clicking See Preview, you can preview the image where it shows you more details, such as the dimensions of the image. Copy the URL and finally, select the image by clicking on Select File. By clicking on the From URL property, you can paste the URL of the image if you have it from your own repository or an image from the internet. It is suggested that the image be your own to avoid some kind of problem with the use of it. To return to the options, click on the X. By clicking on the Image Source option, you can search for the image of your choice, enabling the same background image upload options. When you click Resize Mode, a list is displayed that allows you to resize the image, with respect to the size of the container. When you choose the Cover option, the image adapts to the full height and width of the container. When you choose the Contain option, the image adapts to the content. When you choose the Stretch option, the image is stretched inside the container. When you choose the Repeat option, the image is repeated within the container. When you choose the Center option, the image is placed in the center of the container. When you select Border Width, you can assign the value of the component's width and border type. All edges with a blue call sign indicate that they will always have the same border value. If you want to assign different values, you just have to click on the call sign that you want to assign a different value to the others. Thus their values will be independent of the other values. When you select Border Radius, you can round the corners of the component. By clicking Border Color, I was able to change the color of the border, showing 5 options for color mapping. This border color applies to all borders without exception. When you click Border Style, 3 types of borders are displayed: consecutive line, dotted line, and segmented line, that is assigned to the edge of the component. This border style applies to all edges without exception. By clicking the Dimensions property, you can customize the numeric width indicator of the component. The percentage element, %, is directly related to the numeric height indicator of the component. When selected, the % closed blue and the height of the element will expand to a value proportional to the value of the numeric height indicator of the component and the height of the device. If not selected, the % is grayed out, and the height of the element will be in pixels equal to the value of the numeric indicator for the height of the component. You can also customize the numeric indicator for the height of the component in question. The percentage element, %, is directly related to the numeric indicator of the component width. When selected, the % closed blue and the width of the element will expand to a value proportional to the value of the numeric indicator of the component width and the width of the device. If not selected, the % is grayed out and the width of the element will be in pixels equal to the value of the numeric indicator for the width of the component. When you activate the Height Auto switch, the height of the component will auto-adjust to the height dimensions of the child elements, if there are 2 elements at the same level, direct from that component or the content it has. The Layout property indicates the direction of child components within a container. You can align it to the left. This alignment is from the first to the last embedded element. You can also align it to the right. This alignment is from the first to the last embedded element. Align it up. This alignment is from the first to the last integrated element. and align it down. This alignment is from the first to the last integrated element. By clicking scroll and selecting the horizontal checkbox, you allow more child objects without them overlapping each other or leaving the container, and allows you to cycle from left to right through the container. By clicking scroll and selecting the vertical checkbox, you allow more child objects without them topping each other or leaving the container, and allows you to cycle through the container from top to bottom. When you activate the Ctrl Z index element, change the value greater than 0, overlaps the other elements using the Z dimension as its base point. Dimensions must be in pixels and not in percentage. Clicking inner margin marks the distance from the edge of the element to the center of the element. The components inside the element will be moved so that the space of the inner margin can be left. Clicking outer margin marks the distance from the edge of the element to the outside of it. Components next to this element, either other components or the parent component, will be moved to leave the outer margin space. By clicking on the shadows element, you can place shadows to the container. You have 6 shading options. No shading. Shading under the container. Shading above the container. Shading in the lower right corner of the container. Shading in the upper left corner of the container. Shading on the back of the container. In the same way, you can control how opaque the shadow would look with the opacity bar that goes from a scale of 0 to 1, with 0 being transparent and 1 very opaque. Select the data icon. By clicking Control Name, you can customize the name of the container. Enable dynamic loading gives us the advantage of giving the appearance of loaded while assigning the final value to the element. When the switch is activated, when it is disabled, that appearance is lost, leaving the component in question in its original form. By activating the Control is Hidden switch, the selected control hides but does not remove it from the interface, meaning that the control still exists on the components that make up the interface but is not visible. The split percentage property makes it easy to divide the container horizontally into the number of sections that add up to 100. Clicking the plus increases the segments of the property. Clicking on the decreases the segments of the property. Activating the lock container switch allows you to lock the container and does not allow you to edit its dimensions. Click on the events icon. Click the plus to add multiple events. The on-press event is triggered when you press the control. The on-refresh event works in conjunction with the add collection to UI function. Once the dynamic list is fully loaded, from the add collection to UI function, you can trigger the event by swiping down the list. Usually this event is used to remove the cache from the list and display the list again with the new records, if any. This event helps to lower consumption calls to the database and save consumption of cellular data. The onReach end event works in conjunction with the add collection to UI function. Once the dynamic list, from the add collection to UI function, is fully loaded, this event is triggered to execute the functions it contains. Thank you for watching this video.